This is Andre Agassi's 20th consecutive U.S. Open. He arrived as a brash teenage talent. He's now a sentimental favorite. Along the way, he's created many dazzling championship moments, but it didn't start so well in 1986.
16-year-old Andre Agassi also went down to defeat.
What do you remember about Jeremy Bates?
Oh, I remember losing in 4 sets, and I remember feeling like the match just wasn't long enough. How did this go by so quick? We were out there for probably 3 hours, but it still felt like I never could settle down into it. Everything was moving by so fast, you couldn't even believe that you just played a match at the Open.
He's a pup, you're a legend!
Oh, that reminds me, wasn't that the time you beat Connor? Some fan in the audience yelled,
yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember it all too well. I wish I could meet that guy. I wish I could meet him because, yeah, I think he said it all right there.
Were you a punk?
Listen, I've had my moments of my actions and words not reflecting who it is I am and what it is I feel and believe. If that defines a punk, then yeah, absolutely.
You play Sampras in '90. What do you remember about that first final?
And the last time I played Pete before then, I beat him 6-1, 6-1, and I remember telling my coach at the time, Nick, I said, you know, I feel bad for this guy because he's never going to make it, you know? And I couldn't believe he was in the finals. I was much prefer to play him than Lendl or McEnroe, who he beat in the quarters and semis, and I said, I'm going to go out there and just make him hit so many balls till he implodes, you know? And sure enough, I went out there to be solid and to be safe, and he stepped up.
Andre lost 3 U.S. Open finals to Pete, but he always maintained a tremendous respect for his rival.
To be on the court with him was a challenge in and of itself, you know, and growing up with him and knowing him so well and having such contrast of games as well as personalities, all of it is this beautiful stage for some magic to happen, you know, and I'll never forget it. I think probably my most memorable might have been the 4 tiebreakers we played in New York, never losing our serves, having 20,000 people come to a standing ovation before we started the 4-set tiebreaker. It's that moment that I just went, this is pretty special.
Another special moment took place when he married fellow tennis legend Steffi Graf, whom he credits with adding richness and stability to his life.
It's an amazing luxury to have somebody that understands the intimacy of what it is you do, and that's the part that I think allows me to be all of who I am these days on the court.
You told me once that one of the measures of how long you continue was whether when you go out to practice you really enjoy hitting a tennis ball. That would be one of the first signs for you to say that it's time to walk away.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what my reasons will be for walking away because I'd just be guessing at that, really. I can tell you what I want them to be. I want them to be because I don't feel like I can do it, you know, and I want to give everything I have to this game. It's been so good to me. It's not just changed my life and my family's life, but it's changed thousands of children's life here. And if I can get out in the court with the realistic expectation that my opponent doesn't want to play me and that I can be competitive, I will still find challenge in those obstacles. That's what's motivated me since I was young. In a lot of cases, it was pressure that I put on myself that made me worse at times. As I've gotten older, I've realized, no, I function on this process of pushing myself to places that I don't think I can go.
So you're not looking at any tennis mortality immediately?
No, I don't function that way. The second I think about tomorrow, I've lost perspective on the importance of what today is, and I mean that philosophically, and I also mean that practically speaking. I don't have the energy to take on more than I have to take on today. I don't have the ability to do that. So to think about what my life's going to be like or when my career's going to, that means I'm not thinking enough about my opponent, and that's plenty for me right now.
What if you win this year? What if you win the U.S. Open?
I'm afraid that if I win the U.S. Open, you're only going to have to deal with me for a lot more years because I'll be thinking, yeah, I can do this longer.